growing up as a token, it's interesting. First of all, there's a little bit of a difference even with like being a Black Caribbean and Black American. Being Black in America is already not easy. You know, we don't see a lot there's more now, but there wasn't that much representation as a kid. My mom made sure that I was proud of myself and my features, and I understood myself and the differences, because when you're the only, you know, against a lot of people, they're going to ask you questions, they're going to nitpick at things, they're going to question things, and you need to be able to, like, you know, be yourself and not crumble under that pressure. These were some of like the tennis programs that she paid for me. I could see here like all her notes. Her trying to make sure that I got into tournaments, and me kind of being like, I didn't get a chance to play that many tournaments growing up.
Getting her out to tournaments, and you know, predominantly white, right? Predominantly white, and you know, so we have to go through that issue of that barrier, and then we didn't have the equipment, right, or the places to play, right, or you know, and it's so expensive, because at the time I would have to pay, you know, for coaching and court fees, which is like about 120 for an hour. So there's for an hour. And then the equipment is just as expensive. To buy one racket is about $250. And you know, not talk about shoes. And then to enter tournaments, you have to know where the tournaments are given, and most of the tournaments were given upstate.
Mayor's Cup was a big tournament that still happens. I wanted to keep this because this was in 2005. I think I graduated in college 2006.
When she graduated from college, she worked like 3 or 4 different jobs teaching tennis. She's very much a get up and go. And I'm like, wow. And I did, once I was done with guiding her to college, hands off. My job now is to make sure that her taxes are done, she's staying on top with all her paperwork, and she does the rest.
Success is not always a straight path, and it's not. You know, you start here and then it looks like this, and then you might finally get to what you're aiming for. I remember this incident, right? So I'm working at the summer camp and we're playing a game. The kids are throwing balls. I'm telling, I don't remember his name, little Jimmy, not to throw the balls, right? All the coaches are gonna throw the balls. And so something I picked up, I guess, working in the YMCA would be like, you know, little Jimmy, if you don't stop throwing the balls, I gotta tell your mom. So of course mom comes in and I was like, little Jimmy, didn't you have something you wanted to tell your mom? And Jimmy's breaking down crying. The other coaches are like, oh, you did great today. And I'm like, he was like trying to kill the kids with the balls. But I got reprimanded after for that. They were like, yeah, no, these people, they're paying their money. They don't care. Make sure they're happy when they go home, whatever. So again, like my first like lesson in this upper echelon type of situation where, you know, money kind of runs everything. So after a while I got tired of getting fired by all these white people, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and build and create from what I've learned and observed, build and create, you know, something of my own for my own. 2016 I started HQ, and I did have some students that you know, were growing and getting better, and I did have some programs like at the YMCA and at other schools and things like that. There were no nets on the courts when I got the concession, and Jackie was already like a hot mess. Like, it was cracks and divots and dust and not even paint. People would use tape, and they put tape around the net post so that was their net. So my first order of business when I got to Jackie was to buy a net that I could put up, and to get a shed. Just me being out there, I think, just brought a lot of energy and effort to the place.
We met at the Jackie Robinson tennis courts, and at that time she was just a super friendly face, really approachable. I could tell that she kind of knew her way around the court. So I was new to the neighborhood, wanted to be playing tennis, and so I asked her kind of about like, oh, like how do you get a court? And you know, we kind of became familiar with each other just by seeing each other at the courts a lot. Over time we became friends, and she's been doing so much community organizing, and I've done a lot of community organizing as well, and so she's asked me for help, or I've offered help in different circumstances. So like, you know, acquaintances then friends, and then now kind of like collaborators, I guess, sometimes, and just trying to help each other out. She goes far and beyond out of her way to provide like the physical and mental space for people to actually have community. And I think that that's something I just respect about her so much.
To have her come there in less than 5 years, have them turn that court into what it is, and then make it purple, the only purple court in Brooklyn. I don't even know how. I had nothing to do with that. She did what she did. She got out there, met people, did something, and boom, we have a purple court.
And let's go. Anno. These are obviously my like courts.
Who knew tennis can have so much drama?
So much drama. I mean, the purple with when the spring and the trees are blooming, it's very beautiful. It's very peaceful. We've done so much like good work out here. We've made this place what it is.
And it took 8 months to rebuild the courts. It took a long time to rebuild the courts. And then for the courts, after she rebuilt them, for them to get taken away from her immediately after is like, that caused some crazy outrage, no matter, like, especially for how much she's done for the community herself.
No, people tried to do something. People were like signing petitions and organizing and showing up for like, and writing to elected officials and writing to the Parks Department. And it's like, to not be able to actually have any of those actions that we took make a difference was infuriating.
We called it like a peaceful protest or whatever, because they were taking away all of Francis's stuff. And we just weren't gonna let them take it like that.
All of this to take down my shed. For what reason? Because we're doing good programming?
Yours? Hey, shed, it's out of here. What teeth is that, brother? What teeth?
It's kind of like, I mean, I know that like the system is messed up, but also like individual people have the power to make choices. And so like I was also bitter towards this person that I don't even know, you know, for like kind of coming in and taking away people, like not only someone's livelihood, but like a pillar of the community.
Well, Omar called the cops on us because we're playing tennis. This isn't park enforcement. These are the police. They are asking us what the deal is. You know, we just explained to them that Omar was standing in the middle of the court and preventing us from playing, and that's all that we know. I was gonna get a hammock because I just used to be out here. It was like, oh, I could just be out here. I sit here and wave and talk to people in the morning. My music used to be here. Yeah. I would just, you know, I'd be out here like, they'd be like, hey. I was like, hey. One girl the other day saw me playing with somebody and was like, I almost died crossing the street because I thought you were back. And I was like, no, girl, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? She was like, I saw you from across the street. And I was like, Coach Francis. And I was like, no, I'm not. The parents are really nice and helpful, especially when I was first pregnant with Adonis and I started back the season. A lot of the parents used to watch him while I did lessons, so like he'd be in the stroller, he's, you know, but they would, you know, walk him and stuff like that. So, and the bonds were nice, and getting to see them, especially when they're consistent, getting to see them grow and the parents being excited about seeing how they're growing is even more exciting.
One word to describe Coach Francis, if I had to pick one word, would be, I would say consistency. It takes consistency over a period of time to everybody to notice. A lot of times people can notice things in the community like free or beneficial. You hear about it, but you don't attend, and then you probably have your neighbors talk about it, or you finally takes notice, and you catches your eye.
You and your crew make sure that this look like this. That's my only beef. Yeah, so I know you're frustrated, but I don't give a fuck, bro. Nobody would have made this look like this if it wasn't for y'all. So you're supposed to leave it now, and the good, wholesome gentrifier is supposed to come and then leave people like him to tell us what to do. It'll never happen. I swear to God, I'd rather live on my feet than down on my knees.
Last year I wasn't ready. I honestly thought that we were gonna continue here and like had already, because we did training in February, like we had so much stuff already ready to go, and it's taken me so long to like bounce back from that, you know, but again, I think it's a good pivot.
You offering the job to come and be like the counsel or
Yeah.
whatever to work, that's what even inspired me to do the coaching, because like what inspired me at first is like, that was amazing. Like working with kids is amazing.
Yeah.
But when you teach them something new and they get it, and it's like, you're getting it, and they
Yeah,
have that smile
yeah,
on their
yeah,
face because
yeah.
they're making progress. Like, that's amazing.
I realized I would be more impactful by creating a team. So today, as of today and moving forward, I started a team. There's about 12 players on the team, and the team, you know, we practice and we compete. The biggest thing that we're focusing on is competition, getting the kids hosting tournaments, getting them into tournaments, local tournaments, UTR tournaments, USTA tournaments, any kind of just match play with like local organizations. Yeah, I just really want to build this program that my mom was looking for. You know what I mean? Like, this program is like my thank you to her, my thank you to my tennis world, and like, you know, just trying to, it's needed. We need it. I think having that team element and having people hold each other accountable and, you know, going through it together and competing together, I think it's really supportive, especially for our kids. Tennis competition is not easy. You have to know how to call your lines. You have to know how to deal with people cheating. You have to know how to manage your emotions when you're losing. So it's a lot, you know. There's not a coach that you come to for a timeout that's going to give you a new play. You're having to work through all of it on your own when you're competing as a junior. Moving forward, I'm not worried. I have the concession at Linden, and again, like, there's so many ways to provide tennis in general that you don't need an actual tennis court, and you definitely don't need New York City parks. You know, this was a minor setback. Minor setback. It's a pivot. It's a pivot. It's a pivot to something better.